Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to transport your mind out of this room, out of this city, and deep into the primal jungle. Listen to the sounds of the forest. Who is making the noise? The monkeys are screaming in the trees. The parrots are squawking at the sky. The small rodents are rustling through the dry leaves, constantly moving, constantly twitching, constantly announcing their location. Why do they make so much noise? Because they are afraid. They are signaling to each other. They are crying out for safety. Their noise is a confession of their vulnerability. Now, think about the masters of the jungle. Think about the tiger. Think about the python. Do they scream? Do they announce their presence? No. They are absolute silence. They move through the tall grass without breaking a single twig. They are invisible until the very last second. The monkey screams because it wants to be seen. The tiger is silent because it knows that invisibility is power. Open your eyes. Look at the society you live in. It is no different from that jungle. We live in a world where everyone is obsessed with being seen. Everyone is broadcasting. Everyone is posting. Everyone is yelling their opinions, their plans, their feelings, and their weaknesses. They think that being loud makes them look strong. They think that if they dominate the conversation, they dominate the room. But they are wrong. Noise is just leaked energy. Noise is a map that you hand to your enemies, showing them exactly where to attack you. There is a reason why people feel uncomfortable when they walk into a dark room. There is a reason why you feel a cold chill when someone stares at you without blinking and without speaking. It is the fear of the unknown. The human mind is terrified of what it cannot calculate. It is terrified of the blank space. And this is your greatest weapon. Today, I am going to teach you the dark art of unpredictability. I call it a dark art, not because it is evil, but because it operates in the shadows. It operates in the unseen. We are going to teach you how to become a black box, a device that takes in information but gives nothing out. When you master this, people will stop disrespecting you. In fact, they will start to fear you. Not the fear of a bully who might hit them, but the respectful fear one feels when standing at the edge of a deep, dark ocean. They will not know what you are thinking. They will not know your next move. And because they cannot predict you, they will have no choice but to yield to you. Welcome to the path of the shadow. Let us begin. To understand why silence creates such intense power, you must first understand the machinery of the human brain. You must understand the biology of the people around you. The human brain is, fundamentally, a prediction machine. From the moment a person meets you, their brain is running a high-speed algorithm. It is scanning your face, your tone of voice, your clothes, and your body language. It is desperate to put you in a box. It asks, is he safe? Is he a threat? Is he smarter than me? Is he weaker than me? Is he seeking my approval? Once the brain puts you in a box, it relaxes. It feels safe. If you are loud and emotional, the brain says, he is unstable. He is easy to provoke. I know how to handle him. If you are overly nice and talkative, the brain says, he is a pleaser. He wants validation. I can control him. Predictability is comfort. Predictability allows people to lower their guard because they think they have solved the puzzle of who you are. But what happens when the algorithm fails? What happens when they tell a joke and you don't laugh? What happens when they insult you and you don't get angry? What happens when they ask you what you are doing this weekend and you simply smile and say, working, without giving details? You create a glitch. You create a system error in their mind. Their brain scans you for a pattern, but it finds nothing. It finds only a smooth, reflective surface. And when the human brain cannot predict a pattern, it triggers the amygdala, the fear center. It releases a low dose of cortisol. It heightens their attention. Suddenly, they are not looking at their phone. They are looking at you. They are thinking, wait, why isn't he reacting? What does he know that I don't? What is he planning? In Shaolin, we have a concept called Xing, formlessness. Imagine you are fighting an opponent. If you stand in a rigid stance, maybe a boxing stance, you are telling me exactly how you fight. I know where your weight is. I know which hand is ready to punch. I can predict you, and because I can predict you, I can defeat you. But if you stand like water, if you have no fixed posture, I cannot read you. I do not know if you will strike high or low. I do not know if you will retreat or advance. This uncertainty freezes the opponent. It makes them hesitate, and in combat, hesitation is death. You must apply this formlessness to your social life and your business life. Most people are open books. You can read their entire life story in 5 minutes. They tell you their traumas, their financial problems, their political views, and their plans for the future. They think this is building rapport, but in reality, they are giving away the keys to the castle. If I know what you want, I can manipulate you. If I know what you fear, I can scare you. If I know your routine, I can trap you. The high-value man, the dangerous man, keeps the book closed. He is friendly, yes. He is polite, yes. But he is vague. He uses silence as a shield to protect his intentions. When you are unpredictable, you become larger than life in people's minds. Their imagination starts to fill in the blanks, and the human imagination will always create a version of you that is more powerful, more intelligent, and more formidable than reality. Think of the horror movies you have seen. What is the scariest part of the movie? Is it when you see the monster? No. Once you see the monster, a guy in a rubber suit, it is not scary anymore. The scariest part is the first hour, when you hear the footsteps but see nothing, when the door opens by itself, when the threat is unseen. The unknown is infinite, the known is limited. By remaining silent, by keeping your cards close to your chest, you tap into the infinite power of the unknown. You force the people around you to walk on eggshells. They become careful with their words because they don't know what might trigger you. They don't know where your lines are. This is not about being creepy. It is about being sovereign. It is about realizing that you do not owe the world an explanation for your existence. So, the first step in this dark art is to stop feeding the algorithm. Stop giving people the data they crave. When you enter a room tomorrow, I want you to visualize yourself as a cloud of mist. You are there, but you cannot be grasped. You cannot be contained. Let them project their fears and desires onto you. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Because while they are busy trying to figure you out, you are already 3 moves ahead. So, you have become the glitch. You have stopped broadcasting your data. Now we must move from defense to offense. We must look at how to actively dismantle the power dynamics in your environment. This brings us to the second gate, the hunger for dopamine. Look around you. What do you see? You see a world of addicts. I'm not talking about drugs or alcohol. I'm talking about something far more pervasive. People are addicted to emotional reaction. They are addicted to validation. They are addicted to knowing that they affect you. Every social interaction is a transaction of energy. When someone tells you a joke, they are fishing for a laugh, dopamine. When someone insults you, they are fishing for anger, significance. When someone gossips to you, they are fishing for agreement, connection. They are throwing hooks into the water, waiting for you to bite. And the moment you bite, whether you laugh, scream, or nod, you are feeding their addiction. You are giving them a hit. You are telling them, you exist, you matter. You have the power to change my state. But the master does not feed the pigeons. The dark art of silence is learning how to starve the room. We call this the flatline technique. Imagine a heart monitor in a hospital. Beep, beep, beep. That is a normal reaction. Now imagine the flatline. Beep! 0 movement, 0 fluctuation. This is the face of the dangerous man. When someone tries to provoke you with drama, most men jump in. They ask, OMG? Really? What happened? They feed the energy. You flatline. You look at them with dead eyes. Your face does not move. Your breathing does not change. You give them nothing. Maybe a slight nod. maybe a low, but no energy leaves your body. Do you know what happens when you do this? It is psychological torture for them, because you are denying them the dopamine hit they expected. They enter a state of withdrawal. Watch them closely. They will start to panic. They will think, did he hear me? Does he not care? Is he judging me? To fill the void, they will start to overshare. They will reveal secrets they didn't mean to tell. They will try harder to impress you. They will dance for you. You have flipped the script completely. By doing absolutely nothing, you have forced them to do everything. This is the definition of power. Maximum result with minimum effort. There is a story of a great samurai who was challenged by a brash, loud swordsman. The swordsman shouted, waved his sword, and insulted the samurai's ancestors, trying to get him to draw his blade in anger. The samurai simply sat down and began to polish his scabbard with a small cloth. He did not look up. He focused entirely on the dust on the wood. The swordsman screamed for an hour. Finally, exhausted and feeling foolish, he dropped his sword and ran away. The samurai defeated him without standing up. He starved the fire of oxygen until it died. In your office, in your relationships, be the one who cannot be hooked. When you are the only person in the room who does not need validation, you automatically become the prize. You become the judge. Stop feeding the addicts. Let them starve. And watch how quickly they begin to respect you. Now let us deepen the mystery. It is not enough to just be silent. If you are silent in the same way every day, you become predictable again. A statue is silent, but a statue is not scary because it never moves. To be truly feared, to be truly respected, you must be dynamic. This brings us to the third gate, the art of unpredictability. Sun Tzu, the great strategist, wrote, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." Most men are not dark as night. They are bright as a neon sign. They have a routine. They wake up at the same time. They eat the same food. They take the same route to work. They say the same catchphrases. They react to stress in the same way. If I watch you for 3 days, I can build a model of your entire life. I know exactly where you will be at 5 p.m. I know exactly what to say to make you happy or sad. You are a non-player character, NPC, in your own life. The dangerous man destroys his own patterns. He understands that routine is the cousin of death. He becomes a pattern breaker. How do you practice this dark art? You introduce chaos into your own system. You must become a moving target. Change your route. Change your schedule. Change your reaction. If you are usually the guy who says yes to everything, suddenly, without warning, say no. Do not explain why. Just say no. Watch the shock on their faces. The system error. Wait, he always says yes. What changed? Is he mad? Did I do something wrong? Suddenly they are thinking about you for the rest of the day. You are living rent-free in their head. If you are usually quiet, suddenly speak up with authority. Then go back to silence. If you are usually serious, suddenly crack a smile at something only you understand. Then go back to stone. The goal is to keep them off balance. In martial arts, we use feints. We twitch our shoulder as if we're going to punch left, but we kick right. We make the opponent commit to a defense for an attack that never comes. Socially, you must do the same. Never let them know your full plan. Never let them know your full opinion. Give them fragments. Give them pieces of the puzzle, but never the whole picture. When people ask you, "What are you thinking?" the average man vomits his thoughts. "Oh, I'm worried about the rent, and my girlfriend is annoying and I hate my boss." Weakness. Predictability. The master smiles and says, "I am thinking about the strategy," and leaves it there. What strategy? For what? Against whom? They don't know. And that not knowing is where your power lies. Unpredictability creates an aura of competence. We assume that if someone is hiding their moves, they must have really good moves. We assume the quiet man has a plan. Maybe you don't have a plan yet. It doesn't matter. The perception that you are moving in the shadows makes people hesitate to cross you. Look at the ocean. On the surface, it is just water. But we fear it because we don't know what is swimming underneath. It could be nothing. It could be a leviathan, be the ocean. Surface, calm, reflective, flatline. Depths, dark, moving, unpredictable. When you combine the starvation strategy with pattern breaking, you create a psychological gravity well. People will start to circle around you. They will try to decode you. They will fear your silence because they know that in that silence, you are calculating. You are evolving. And while they are playing checkers, reacting to every move, making noise, trying to jump over each other, you are playing chess. You are moving pieces in your mind that they cannot even see. We have reached the final layer of the dark art. You have learned the mindset of the glitch. You have learned to starve the validation addicts. You have learned to break your patterns. But there is a danger here. If you are simply silent, but your body is weak, you will not look dangerous. You will look awkward. You will look like a child who is pouting in the corner. Silence without presence is just emptiness. Silence with presence is gravity. We call this heavy silence. Have you ever sat in a room with a true master, or a high-level CEO, or a dangerous individual? They might not say a word. They might just be sitting there drinking tea. But the air around them feels heavy, dense. You feel a pressure on your chest. You find yourself sitting up straighter. You are careful not to make sudden movements. Why? Because their energy is taking up all the space in the room. Even though they are quiet, they are screaming on a subatomic level. How do you cultivate this heavy silence? It comes from 3 physical anchors: the ground, the breath, and the void gaze. First, the ground. Most men float. Their energy is all in their head, worrying, thinking, calculating. They are top-heavy. If you push them, they fall. To project heavy silence, you must sink your energy into your hips, into your gut. In Shaolin, we call this the lower dantian, the center of gravity. When you sit, do not perch on the edge of the chair like a bird ready to fly away. Sit deep. Occupy the chair. Feel your weight connecting with the earth. Imagine you weigh 1,000 pounds. You are an immovable object. When you are this grounded, your silence does not feel like hiding. It feels like waiting. And waiting is a predator's game. Second, the breath. Anxious people breathe shallow and fast. Ha 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 ha. This signals fear. It signals that your engine is overheating. The master breathes from the stomach. Slow, deep, silent. When you are in a negotiation or a confrontation and the other person is talking fast, trying to explain, trying to convince, you simply breathe. Your slow rhythm acts as a metronome. Subconsciously, they will try to match your breathing, but they can't. This creates a dissonance. They feel your calmness as a threat. They think, why is his heart rate so slow? He should be stressed. He should be scared. Why isn't he scared? Your calmness in the face of chaos is the ultimate display of dominance. Third, and most lethal, the void gaze. Eye contact is the channel through which power is exchanged. Weak men look away when there is silence. They look at their phone. They look at the floor. They break the tension because they cannot hold the weight. The dangerous man maintains the connection, but he does not glare. He does not stare with wide, crazy eyes. That is weakness disguised as aggression. He uses the soft gaze. You look through them. You are not looking at their eyes. You are looking at the back of their skull. You are looking at their soul. You are not analyzing their words. You are analyzing their intent. When you hold this gaze in total silence, most people will break. They will look down. They will stutter. They will feel naked because they are used to wearing a mask, and your silence peels that mask off. Imagine a black hole in space. It makes no sound. It does not shout. It does not chase planets, it simply is. It has so much mass, so much density, that everything else is pulled towards it. Light cannot escape it. Be the black hole. Let them bring their noise, their drama, their lies to you, and let it all disappear into your gravity. You do not need to fight the noise. You simply need to be heavier than it. When you master heavy silence, you don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You can whisper, and the whole room will lean in to listen, because you have taught them that your words are rare. And because they are rare, they are expensive. So look at the world around you one last time, the jungle of noise. Everyone is screaming, "Look at me." Everyone is a prisoner of their own need for validation. Everyone is an open book, begging to be read. They are the monkeys in the trees, shaking the branches, hoping someone notices them. And then, there is you. The shadow in the tall grass, the glitch in the algorithm, the silence in the storm. You are not doing this to be evil. You are not doing this to manipulate for the sake of harm. You are doing this to reclaim your sovereignty. In a world that wants to consume you, to categorize you, to sell to you, and to control you. Being unknowable is the only true freedom left. If they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. If they cannot read you, they cannot manipulate you. If they cannot hear you, they must fear you. And from that fear comes respect. Do not be afraid of the dark. The dark is where the stars shine. The dark is where the roots grow. The dark is where the master is forged. Embrace your unpredictable nature. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them create legends about you because you gave them no facts. Your silence is not empty. It is full of answers they are not ready to hear. I want you to make a choice today. Are you going to go back to the noise? Are you going to go back to explaining yourself, justifying your existence, and begging for scraps of attention? Or are you ready to become the void? If you are ready to walk this path, if you are ready to become the most dangerous person in the room simply by doing nothing, I want you to leave a mark below, a digital signature of your transformation. Go to the comments and write one phrase, a phrase that tells the world you are no longer playing by their rules. Write, "I am the unknown." Let those words be your shield. When you feel the urge to speak, remember them. When you feel the urge to react, remember them. You are not the signal. You are the receiver. You are the deep water. Stay dark. Stay silent. Stay dangerous. Amituofo.